Have you ever been hurt by someone you trusted, only to wonder if they'd ever face consequences for what they did? If so, you're not alone. Life has a way of balancing itself out, even when it feels like the person who caused you pain is getting away with it. This is where the concept of karma comes in, that invisible force that ensures actions, whether good or bad, eventually return to the person who created them. Karma isn't about wishing harm on someone. It's about the natural consequences of their choices. And sometimes, the universe doesn't deliver punishment all at once. Instead, it works quietly, subtly, and consistently, letting them face the repercussions of their actions over time. The fascinating thing about karma is that it doesn't just target obvious behaviors. It often manifests in ways that feel almost poetic. For example, someone who hurt you through lies might suddenly find themselves tangled in their own deception. A manipulative person may slowly lose control over relationships they once dominated. The person who betrayed trust could see opportunities vanish right when they thought success was within reach. And the more they tried to cover up their actions or push forward without accountability, the more life seems to respond, creating a chain of consequences that's hard to ignore. Understanding these signs is important, not just because it proves justice exists, but also because it helps you find closure. When someone wrongs us, it's easy to focus on resentment, anger, or frustration. But observing how life naturally restores balance can be empowering. It reminds you that you don't have to actively seek revenge or confront them directly. Karma operates in its own way, and by letting it unfold, you protect your energy while watching the natural consequences play out. In this video, we're going to explore 5 unmistakable signs that karma is already punishing the person who hurt you. From seeing their lies come back to haunt them, to watching relationships crumble, to noticing opportunities slip through their fingers, these signs reveal a pattern that is impossible to ignore. You'll also learn how the unexpected problems they face and the slow unraveling of their reputation serve as subtle reminders that actions have consequences. Each of these signs is not random. They are a reflection of the energy and choices the person has put into the world, returning to them in ways that are often quiet but undeniable. Whether you're recovering from betrayal, heartbreak, or deceit, understanding these signs can help you regain a sense of perspective. It proves that justice isn't always immediate, but it is inevitable. Life has a way of restoring balance, and those who act with malice rarely escape the natural consequences of their choices. So, stay tuned, pay close attention, and notice how karma quietly unfolds in ways that may surprise you, often when the person least expects it. By the end of this video, you'll see that sometimes the universe doesn't need your help to set things right. It already has a plan. 1. Their lies are coming back to haunt them. When someone has hurt you through deception, manipulation, or outright lies, there's often an invisible balance at work, what many call karma. The first sign that karma is at play is when the very lies they told start to circle back and affect their own life. Lies have a way of building a fragile house of cards. At first, it seems like everything is stable. They may have lied to gain trust, advantage, or control over you. But eventually, the truth has a way of surfacing. Even the smallest falsehood can spiral into a chain reaction that they cannot control. For instance, someone who spread rumors about you or twisted fact to make themselves look better may suddenly find themselves exposed. People who once believed their version of events begin to question them. The things they tried to hide or manipulate start appearing in ways they never expected. A lie that seemed insignificant at first may resurface at the most inconvenient moment, undermining relationships, work opportunities, or social standing. This is karma in action, a natural response to the dishonesty they sowed. Another layer of this is internal. Lies don't just affect others, they affect the liar themselves. The weight of deception often leads to stress, anxiety, and paranoia. They may constantly fear being caught, replaying situations in their mind, worrying about what others think, or trying to maintain a facade that's impossible to uphold. Their sleep may suffer, their focus at work may falter, and even personal relationships may start crumbling because trust is fragile, and they've eroded it in their own life. The haunting effect of lies also manifests socially. People who once supported them may drift away when they sense dishonesty. Colleagues, friends, or family members begin noticing inconsistencies and hidden agendas. Slowly, the networks they counted on begin to weaken. Every time they attempt to cover up or spin a story, it only digs them deeper into a hole, creating a cycle of self-sabotage. The irony is that while they may have believed their lies gave them an advantage, the very same lies end up controlling them. Karma doesn't always strike dramatically. Often, it's subtle, quiet, and persistent. You may not see them punished in a sensational way, but over time, their web of deception unravels, revealing the truth that they tried so hard to hide. 2. They're losing people they once controlled. One of the clearest signs that karma is catching up to someone who hurt you is watching the relationships they once manipulated or controlled start to slip away. People who thrive on deception or emotional manipulation often build a network of influence around them. Friends, colleagues, or even family who either fear confrontation or have been convinced to side with them. But karma has a way of undoing even the most carefully constructed webs. Those who were once loyal may begin to see cracks in the person's behavior. Subtle inconsistencies, selfish motives, or repeated betrayals start to become impossible to ignore. Trust, which is foundational in any relationship, begins to erode. As the truth comes out, whether through direct confrontation, observation, or the natural consequences of their actions, people start distancing themselves. Friends who once followed blindly may quietly step back. Partners or colleagues may reconsider their loyalty. Those who were manipulated begin reclaiming their own agency, no longer willing to tolerate the toxicity. The loss is often gradual but unmistakable. It might start with small signs, a lack of invitations, missed calls, or cold responses, and escalate to full detachment. People may openly confront them or simply disappear, choosing to remove the negativity from their lives. What once gave them power, a sense of control over others, becomes a source of isolation. Karma works quietly here. It doesn't always need a dramatic event. Just the natural response of people recognizing and rejecting deceit is enough to create consequences. Additionally, as they lose people, the emotional impact is significant. A manipulative person often depends on others' approval or fear to maintain confidence and status. Losing that support triggers frustration, self-doubt, and insecurity. The more they try to regain control or repair relationships superficially, the more obvious their patterns of harm become. Each failed attempt reinforces the distance between them and those they wronged. Eventually, what was once a circle of influence becomes a vacuum of isolation. Friends, colleagues, or family members drift away, leaving them to confront the consequences of their own actions alone. Karma, in this sense, is not just about external loss but also an internal reckoning, the emotional weight of realizing that the very people they sought to control have chosen to walk away. It's poetic justice. The energy they poured into manipulation boomerangs, leaving them with nothing but the consequences of their actions. 3. Opportunities are slipping through their fingers. Another unmistakable sign that karma is working on someone who has hurt you is watching them lose chances and opportunities they once seemed poised to grab. People who manipulate, lie, or betray others often believe they can bend situations in their favor. At first, it might even seem like their tactics are working. They climb the ladder at work, gain social leverage, or secure financial benefits. But the universe, in its quiet way, has a method of correcting these imbalances. Opportunities begin to vanish subtly at first. They might be overlooked for promotions, lose lucrative deals, or miss key connections that could have advanced their goals. The same qualities that help them deceive or exploit others, dishonesty, selfishness, arrogance, now act as obstacles. Decisions that once seemed advantageous start backfiring. People they tried to manipulate may refuse to support them. Contracts may fall through, or partnerships may dissolve. Karma operates without rush. It's not always instantaneous, but it is persistent, and it doesn't allow wrongdoing to go unchecked indefinitely. There's also a psychological aspect. When someone constantly focuses on taking advantage of others, they expend mental energy on deception rather than real skill or effort. Their focus becomes scattered, and mistakes accumulate. They may procrastinate, make poor judgments, or overlook critical details that a more conscientious person would catch. As a result, doors that should have been open to them close, and chances slip away before they can react. Socially, too, karma plays a role. People notice patterns of selfishness and manipulation, and they start withholding trust or support. Networks that could have provided opportunities instead become barriers. Colleagues, clients, or friends recognize that working with them carries hidden risks, so they distance themselves. The more they try to force success through shortcuts or deceit, the more the universe seems to resist them, redirecting rewards to those who act with integrity. Ultimately, this loss of opportunity is karmic justice in action. What they sought to gain through dishonesty or harm is now denied because the foundation they built it on was false. They may feel frustration, envy, or confusion as they watch others succeed while they stumble. It's a subtle but powerful reminder that energy, intentions, and actions have consequences. The very efforts they made to control outcomes and manipulate people are now working against them, and every mischance is karma quietly reclaiming balance. 4. Unexpected problems keep appearing. One of the clearest signs that karma is already at work is when the person who hurt you begins facing a series of unexpected obstacles in their life. These aren't ordinary challenges. They feel like sudden, relentless setbacks that pop up out of nowhere, as if the universe itself is pushing back against their actions. Someone who has caused harm through deceit, betrayal, or manipulation often assumes that life will continue favoring them. But the more they try to control outcomes or evade responsibility, the more situations arise that disrupt their plans. These problems can manifest in multiple areas: work, relationships, finances, or personal health. A project they were confident about may collapse due to unforeseen complications. Promises from colleagues or partners may fall through, leaving them scrambling. They might face criticism or scrutiny that seems amplified, as if every mistake they make is now magnified. Often, these challenges appear in patterns. One small problem leads to another, creating a chain reaction that's difficult to escape. It's as though the universe is methodically exposing the cracks in their facade. Another aspect of these unexpected problems is how they affect them emotionally and mentally. People who rely on manipulation or deceit often thrive on a sense of control. When problems erupt unexpectedly, it shakes their confidence and generates stress, anxiety, and even paranoia. Their carefully constructed world begins to feel unstable. Every time they attempt to recover, another obstacle emerges, making them feel trapped in a cycle of consequences they cannot fully control. Socially, too, karma works quietly. Those around them, friends, colleagues, family, may distance themselves as these problems surface. Misunderstandings, conflicts, or miscommunications that stem from the individual's past actions now rebound, creating tension in relationships. They might find that support they once took for granted disappears just when they need it most. What's striking is the subtlety of karma in these situations. It rarely manifests as dramatic punishment. Rather, it's persistent, cumulative, and impossible to ignore. Each small setback, each repeated challenge, acts as a reminder that actions have consequences. The universe ensures that the energy they expended to hurt others returns in the form of ongoing difficulties. Over time, these unexpected problems serve not only as punishment but as a lesson. The deceit, betrayal, or harm they cause cannot remain unaddressed forever. 5. Their reputation is slowly unraveling. The final, and perhaps most telling, sign that karma is taking its course is the gradual unraveling of the person's reputation. For someone who has hurt you, manipulated others, or acted dishonestly, reputation often serves as their shield. It allows them to maintain authority, influence, or respect, masking the true nature of their actions. But karma works quietly and persistently, and over time, the truth begins to seep through, slowly dismantling the carefully constructed image they've relied upon. This unraveling is rarely sudden. It often begins with small cracks, subtle doubts raised by those who have witnessed their behavior, whispers of truth circulating in places they assumed were safe, or inconsistencies noticed by people who once trusted them. Each time they are confronted with evidence of their past wrongs, intentionally or unintentionally, it chips away at the credibility they once enjoyed. Rumors, once insignificant, may gain traction. Past lies or manipulations resurface, and the web of deceit they wove starts collapsing under its own weight. In professional settings, karma may manifest as lost opportunities, demotions, or failed projects because their reputation no longer inspires trust. Colleagues, clients, or partners begin to question their integrity. Socially, friends and acquaintances may quietly distance themselves or speak up about past grievances. Even their closest allies might reconsider loyalties when they see the pattern of harm becoming undeniable. Slowly, the respect and influence they relied upon erode, leaving them isolated and exposed. The emotional toll is significant. A person who thrived on appearing powerful or infallible experiences frustration, defensiveness, and anxiety as their public image collapses. They may try to control narratives, offer excuses, or spin stories, but the weight of their past actions is too heavy to conceal indefinitely. Karma ensures that no matter how carefully they manage appearances, the truth eventually becomes apparent, often to a wider audience than they anticipated. What makes this aspect of karma so poetic is its inevitability. The energy they expended to hurt others, lies, manipulation, selfishness, returns as a subtle, unstoppable force dismantling the very reputation they depended on. It's a slow, persistent justice that doesn't require confrontation. It merely allows the natural consequences of their actions to play out. And in the end, the very influence, respect, or admiration they once commanded becomes a mirror reflecting the harm they caused, reminding the world that actions always have consequences.